Welcome to Operation Fall Weiss. We're going to go ahead and do the invasion of southern Poland, my friends. And the reason being that the southern Poland battles are much more close combat oriented. You're up against the enemy, and I just love that. I think that's great. So we're going to go ahead and do that and get started. Now for my general name, I'm going to call my General Weiss. And let's pick a different picture here. There we go. There's General Weiss. Now, for every bonus, we have to take a negative, or at least we have to take a negative that allows us to pick quite a few more bonuses. And what I'm going to get, and people might not agree with this one, but I'm going to take the Green Army bonus, or negative. And what this does is essentially only allows me to get elite units 3 times per mission. That can definitely be an issue, but I'm going to try to make up for it with a Battle Academy 25 experience growth rate and the Deadly Grasp. This is going to basically make our encirclements much stronger, and I think hopefully lead us to victory. Although, hold on one second, Master of Blitzkrieg, maybe I take something else? No, I'm going to go for Battle Academy, and let's go ahead and accept, guys.
Herr General. You have my congratulations on your new promotion, but now is no time for flattery. I have been personally informed that the invasion of Poland, codenamed Fall Weiss, is to commence immediately. Preliminary estimates for the operation's completion was 3 months, but now High Command demands the conquest of Poland in weeks. Mere weeks.
Alright, we've got to capture these victory
I have
hexes.
transferred a detachment of 10th Army's forces to be placed under your direct command, effective immediately. These men are well trained, but like you, they lack combat experience. I am certain they will serve you well, and that you will mold your new Panzer Corps as you see fit in due time. You should secure key crossings on the Vada River quickly, to facilitate your movements and prevent the enemy from fortifying the river line or possibly destroying the bridges entirely. I have also been informed that our declaration of war will be, arriving later. So, you should expect little, if any, resistance in the first few days of your advance. In fact, should you seize Kielce quickly enough, your forces may be able to block Polish mobilization efforts entirely. This would force the understrength Polish garrisons in the region to fight without reinforcements. I eagerly await to see the results of your first combat operation. Don't make me regret putting my trust in you, Herr General.
Alright, folks, so we're going to get started, of course, and one thing to keep in mind is if you want to see this develop into a full campaign, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe, because, of course, if we get through Fall Weiss, we want to move on in the campaign, we're going to try to keep this group here. See, the thing is that these actual units will follow us through the campaign, and I think that's quite important. Now, I'm going to go ahead and proceed forward with the Panzer 38, start attacking the Polish cavalry. We want to get to that bridge as quickly as possible, of course. So I'm actually going to get behind the cavalry here with the infantry. I'd like to actually see if we can get an encirclement bonus. So let's go ahead, swing the Panzer II over here, and yes, as you can see there, we get the mass attack bonus. This is why I got that iron grip ability. Let's go ahead and finish them off. They don't even know what hit them, and they're falling right into our infantry's trap. Sehr good, Männer. Alright, very good shooting for the Kar-98s. They have definitely been practicing. Let's push forward here. It's almost certainly going to be defenses, and of course, there is going to be a 37mm gun. Now, it's quite a problem against our tanks, but not nearly as much of a problem against our infantry. So, I'm not really too concerned. In fact, I think we can probably take that position this turn. But I want to make sure we take it, so I'm going to try to suppress the area with the Sturmpanzer. Got to just rush in there and see if we can't grab this area. Hopefully they'll retreat. I don't know if they will. Okay, not bad, not bad. Can we get a vehicle in here? We certainly can. Now, the enemy's going to have the high ground, but it's so important that we take this area and get it under German control that I'm rushing forward with the Panzer 1B. And there we go. That's a dead enemy soldier. And we've got actually a town over here, Tanovice, village, actually. We could suppress him. We don't have any units to actually take him on. Might not be a bad idea to purchase some additional reinforcements, but I think we're going to actually have to wait a little bit because our unit capacity is full, unless we want to bring in some Broken Pioneer, and they're just not all that useful. So for now, bombard Tarnovice. I hate to have to take out all of our fury on just a small village, but we don't really have much of a choice. Let's do this. Let's see how the Puma would perform. And actually, this is not a Puma, it's a Rad. We would actually lose some men. What I'm going to do instead is just keep him here. Hopefully this guy doesn't leave that position, because then he's going to be behind our troops. But we'll try not to worry about it too much right now. I'm going to push forward my fighter just because I want to kind of see what's going on here. And the Messerschmitt can actually take a look. Looks like we've got a little bit of resistance, cavalry, etc., but nothing too serious. And sure enough, they're going straight for us, going straight for our artillery units. Yeah, we're going to have to move back with some infantry to engage. So first things first, get the hell out of here with the artillery. I'm going to move back with the Panzer 1B. I know we're trying to do a blitzkrieg. And this kind of goes against that because we're moving our armor back to deal with enemy infantry. But I think we need to do this. We can't just have an enemy infantry unit running around willy-nilly back here. It's going to be a problem. Now, as for crossing the bridge, I'll cross with infantry first. Keep an eye on the enemy. I do see that there are guns right there, anti-tank guns. We are going to try to stay out of their range. I think that's going to be quite important. I'm just going to proceed forward, stay out of their range. They could still attack us if they decide to move. But hopefully we're going to take Tomaszów-Mazowiecki, as well as all these other areas with this northern army. With the southern army, we're just going to kind of mop up any enemy forces. In fact, look at that. Beautiful. We can encircle them. And I believe next turn, we finish them off. We've also got this DO-17Z. We should use this to bombard enemy units. Although right now, it looks like all we can do is get suppressive fire on them. It's going to have to be sufficient. I'm going to go ahead and cross with the Wehr infantry. Let's also cross with the Sturm Panzer. But I'm going to keep him behind the Wehr infantry just in case the enemy cavalry decides to charge us. So let's go for it. Get the Dornier out there. Alright. Not doing any actual damage, but we are scaring the hell out of the enemy, so that's got to count for something. Now, over here with the Messerschmitt, we could actually get a little bit of damage, but I'd rather bring the Stuka out. The Stuka can really put a pounding here on this area. For the Reich. Very good. Very good. I'm even going to go in here with the Messerschmitt. It looks like we might be able to get a strafing run. And I think the reason we're getting the bonus on that strafing run and instead of just basic suppression is because of the recon we're getting from this vehicle. So recon in this game is very important. Maybe I didn't even realize how important, but definitely something we want to keep in mind. Might as well do a strafing run over here too. Make sure the enemy knows we're at war, and that was actually pretty effective. Killed a few Polish soldiers there. All right. Okay, looks like the Polish Air Force has arrived, and actually... Ooh, did quite a bit of damage there. Sort of blunted our blitzkrieg. They've even got some scout cars that they're pushing forward. And, of course, they moved forward with the anti-tank gun. I kind of should have expected that. Got our tank down to 1. I'm hoping he can still save himself. Let's see if he can. We're going to go ahead and... Yeah, we can get some replacements. We can go ahead and get our elite replacements right now, but I'm not going to do that. And we do have the recon bonus, but what I think was most important is taking out this unit. However, I want to be in position so that we still get the mass attack boost against the actual vehicle here. Of course, we're going to do most of our damage against their anti-tank weapons. Alright, very good. I think we're going to go ahead and bring in our Messerschmitt. Göring would be proud because we're about to go into serious combat here. In fact, we can go ahead with the Stuka and wipe out that AT gun. We should have done that initially. But lesson learned. Now let's bring in the Messerschmitts and see how we fare against their air force. This is going to be, of course, the Luftwaffe's first real first real attempt in a war at facing an enemy air force. So let's not just anticipate pure victory. Let's try and really do this properly. Or as properly as we can, of course. Now, let's see. I hate to have a unit on the river, but in this case, I think it's kind of necessary. And in fact, we'll bring the Dornier in here. We're really suppressing this cavalry. Another problem is he's got the uphill advantage. He's actually on some hills here. So I will attack, but I'm going to push forward with my infantry first. I'm going to bring the tank in. And now we get the mass attack bonus. So we will lose quite a lot of infantry on this attack, but it's absolutely worth it. One thing I will try to do is I will try to get artillery over here soon. Although we need to actually repair this artillery. So let's get to doing that. And as for our infantry also needs to push forward here. Although we want to be careful because they could attack. We'll go ahead and destroy this area with the Rad. And grab that area for the German Reich. And this is pretty good. We can still continue moving, so we'll be able to get the recon from that unit next turn. I think that's going to be very, very helpful. Alright, we'll just have to see how it goes. It's been interesting so far. So far, we haven't lost any units. And I really don't want to lose any units, but anything could happen. I say we give the Polish their turn, see what they're going to do. That Air Force is going to go back to try and repair itself, but they still have a few bombers coming out. And, of course, going straight for that river tile. Of course, we're very weakened on that tile, so it makes sense they would go for that attack and try to destroy our beautiful Sturmpanzer. Probably my favorite artillery piece of the entire war, if I have to be honest. Just amazing, really. Just amazing. We've got to extend this attack, so we're going to do this. We're going to push forward. We're going to push forward with the infantry units. We've got this this guy completely surrounded. In fact, we can get a mass attack bonus here. But again, I'm trying to reduce casualties. That's the goal here. So we're going to have to attack probably first with engineers. Although this means we completely have to ignore the infantry unit. You know what? We can't do that. We're going to open fire on the Polish infantry. See if we can't get some repairs to our existing armor. And actually wipe out. I'm trying to bring the Stuka in. Let's wipe out that enemy scout car. Okay, beautiful. Wow, we didn't even have to do much. Now, I could grab that Polish village. Probably not a bad idea. Or we could simply continue forward. I think we continue forward. We could come back for it eventually. Right now, I think taking as many points as possible is going to be very important. Oh, there we go. All right, just get what we can, of course. So I'll pull back with the Sturmpanzer. We can still do some suppressive damage. And with the scout car, incredibly, we can still attack even on this river tile at an advantage. And I think it's purely because this is an armored vehicle. And they've actually made our decision for us. So we're going to have to go for the cavalry. Of course, we'll first try to bring in that Dornier. See if he can't at least suppress some of these cavalry units. They won't be as effective in defensive combat. And we actually did some damage there, so that's really great. Let's go straight for it, boys. Fire! So yeah, good. They're actually right there, but they are on high ground. Although again, they've made our decision for us. There's really not much we can do there to respond. What we can do is get in here and try to knock out the Polish Karas bombers that are hitting our targets. They're pretty decent bombers, I have to say. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to be anything special, but the Polish bombers are quite good. And in fact, since they're on the high ground, this makes for a perfect strafing run. We can see them quite easily. So I'm going for the cavalry there. And we're going to grab this artillery and bring them to the front lines. Love to see that smoking Polish vehicle there as well. Just adds so much atmosphere here to this game. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, if you want to see another episode, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. We'll make it happen. Thanks again guys, I'll catch you on the next one.